played here many, many times. Many, many times. They were seen here by the A&R guy. I believe they were signed out of here. And they used to do, every time there was a record release, for the first 3 or 4 or 5 records, the record release parties were done here at the Horseshoe.
When we started, it was still seen as folksy to write like Stompin' Tom Connors or Gordon Lightfoot. There was a bit of a pool into which we all dipped, and it was about, well, why write about New York? You don't have to be the demics that want to go to New York City anymore. We're all back here making music, so let's write about what we know. And the hip obviously did it, full on.
Dougie Gilmore was down here, Wendell Clark had a cottage for summers in Kingston, Dave Ellett, Bex Leaf, myself, and we would go and we'd always skate at like 7 in the morning. We invited the hip boys out, and Gordon Paul came out, and Gord Downey came down from Toronto, and he's a goalie. The best was Wendell with his great wrist shot, and he was teeing them up high. And finally I had to skate up to Wendell and go, Wendell, do you know who the goalie is? It's Gord Downey. You hit him once in the throat, and his career singing is over for his vocal cords. So I said, calm it down, slow it down, shoot low. We don't want these guys getting hurt. So we had a blast. I think they had a great time.
Getting to play with the Tragically Hip in Brandon, Manitoba at the Wheat Kings Arena. And they, of course, played Wheat Kings. And just to kind of, see the hip play that song in a hockey arena, a minor league hockey arena, for the people of that town, it was just a really special thing. You're just thinking about how cool is this?
They visited me in Ottawa when I was Speaker in the House. I have a picture that was run in the Kingston paper of the 6 of us standing in the Hall of Honor in the Parliament buildings and having a chat. It's quite entertaining. They did come and visit and all that sort of thing. And of course now they've been inducted into the Order of Canada, so I think a well-earned honor for them.
My friends and I'd be going to the Markham Fairgrounds or the Molson Park and going to see all their concerts on the long weekends, and just kind of an impressionable time in my life, and a lot of great times and great memories.
I think that the hip gave local musicians, like Canadian musicians, a platform, like a stand and a bar to reach, being a Canadian musician or a Canadian band.
The hip were on, and it was a really hot day, about 30,000 people, really, really hot day. And Gord he was wearing a white suit. He's crazy with that, right? He wears the suits even when it's boiling hot. And he was really going for it. It was mesmerizing to watch. And at the side was Irving Azoff, the Eagles manager, who's a real titan in the world of music. And he was looking at Gord going, just shorten your set, you gotta shorten your set. Because they want to get the Eagles on so they can make their flight. Ultimately, they did shorten their set. And I said to Gord afterwards, didn't that make you mad? Didn't that piss you off that he was shortening his set? He said, oh, it was great. So I just had this good flow going, and I thought, well, how would I ever be in a situation where Irving Azoff's telling me to cut my set short? I thought, that's why you love what you do. Because even after all this time, you don't even take offense, you just think it's all great.
When Gord got on the stage, you knew it. I mean, with his sort of spastic movement and stuff. But my biggest recollection of Gord in those days is he used to sweat so bad he'd be soaked. By the time the show was over, I mean, water would be running off his hair.
After we won gold in 2002 at the Olympics in Salt Lake, they were there and they were hosting sort of a private party, if you will. The women's team, we all got to go up on stage. And I just got this idea to just go up to Gord and put my medal around his neck. And I remember the look of awe that he had, and then the look of panic that he had. And he's thinking, I'm sweating like crazy right now. And he said to me, Cass, I don't want to wreck the medal. I don't want to wreck the medal. And I was like, Gord, you ain't gonna wreck the medal. This is a great story for me to know that Gord Downey had my Olympic medal on.
The reason why he's so good is because he cares about it. And he's a student of performance art, and he's always observing and seeing how he can improve. If you want to be a great act, it's like you got to keep taking notes and keep thinking about it, and you got to be living it. Gord does that, and the whole band does.
Growing up in Canada in the 80s, you always had that feeling of we were always the the little brother or something, that didn't get the attention that anybody else got, or that we were thought of as not having the same skill level. So it was definitely a huge thing seeing the hip make it on the world stage.
They're class guys, they're non-attitude, they're not rock stars, and I'm proud to have been part of their journey.
We're really grateful for, their generosity and all the support they've shown to us over the years, and, to, countless other Canadian bands.
Well, there's so many. I mean, Bob Cajun and 100th Meridian and, Ahead by Century and But how can you not go with courage right now with what Gord's doing and the rest of the guys going across the country performing like this under the situation. So very emotional time, I'm sure, for them, and I'm also sure they're enjoying every moment that they're together. And so that to me right now for this summer is the top song of the hip for me.